I don't see people anymore.
Can't tell.
Look at this fucking Kevin Pillar. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Big Kris Live, the live stream, and then the podcast, which you can find everywhere. Appreciate those who subscribe via Apple Podcasts, also Spotify. We're there for audio subscribers, and DeanBlundell.com, our podcast network host, and you can find all episodes there, along with additional content from the podcast network. And thanks to those who are tuning in tonight to the live stream. Yep, we're live on the Big Kris Radio Facebook fan page and via DeanBlundell.com's Twitter account. And for our negligible subscribers on YouTube, you can join, though. Join us on YouTube. Big Kris Live. Thanks for those who are also tuning in via YouTube. Great panel tonight. We're up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll talk about that, but I'll introduce everyone. Jeff Faulkner is in the bottom of the screen. Jeff, thank you for being here. Comedian from Barrie, Ontario. I guess comedian like 2 years ago before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's true, but it's great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
exactly.
And also great to have you on because I've been bugging you for a while now, and it's always like a last minute though, like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You want to come on the podcast? And you're like, I don't know, man. I got a family, which I've got now, which I understand, and we'll get into that. Ariana Pyle, also, the three of us have done some business before, but Ariana, thanks for being on with us. How are things with you?
I am wonderful.
Yeah, that's good. And you're obviously chomping at the bit. We're all ready to do some stand-up comedy again sometime soon.
Yes, I'm missing it so much. I was actually just thinking about how you did stand-up comedy in my basement for my 30th birthday.
I did. You know what? I was thinking about that today, too. I drove out to Angus. Actually, no, I had a pickup truck Uber take me out to Angus because that's the only type of fucking Ubers they have out there in Angus, Ontario. But yeah, I Ubered out there for your birthday, and that was a memorable show. I mean, it was a great time. What a great way to have a birthday is to have a bunch of reprobate comedians over to your house.
I told my husband I only wanted two things. I wanted a comedy show to happen in my basement and a piñata, and he delivered. That's how much of a child I am. I want the piñata.
I don't remember the piñata. Was I the piñata? What's going on?
No.
Okay. What came out of the piñata? Was it treats?
She didn't even share it. She's like, after everybody left, she pulled out the piñata and
Fuck you guys, this is my candy. I'm an adult.
And also on the screen tonight and joining us, Lou McDonald from K-Rock 105.7 in Kingston, my old stomping grounds. Lou, thanks for being on, man. And I was telling Ariana before you joined the call, I was like, man, I don't know this Lou guy at all. He got to that radio station after I departed, but he sent me a note like out of nowhere saying like, hey man, I enjoyed your podcast and it like inspired me to do this comedy bit. And you sent it to me and I thought it was fucking funny. I'm like, you know what? Mental note, that guy should come on the podcast sometime. So welcome to the show, Lou.
Hey, means a lot. And I listened to you when I was like in high school, teenager.
What? No, I didn't know that.
He's a fangirl, Kris.
I didn't fucking know that.
He's fangirling right now.
That's fucking funny, Lou. I didn't know that, bro. Well, welcome to it, man. Kingston, eh? It must be a big day because Tragically Hip that big announcement today with they got a new 6-song album or release coming out tomorrow for the long weekend.
It is huge, and I'm super stoked as a hip fanatic. And I really enjoyed the episode you had of Big Kris live with Paul Langlois.
Paul Langlois, that was the episode that you messaged me about. Yeah, man, and thank you. Yeah, and, trust me, I was in Paul's inbox today being like, hey, man, come back on the podcast. Let's talk about the new release. I'm sure he's getting a lot of that today.
He's too cool, man, because like he doesn't like he gives a shit, but he doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, just talk about the new music, and he's like, we'll see how it goes. You know, hopefully people like it. He's just too modest, too Canadian.
Yeah, I know. That is the most Canadian band that the Leafs and the friggin' Habs are playing tonight. And then tomorrow, it's the Friday of the long weekend, and the Hip released 6 new unheard songs from the early 90s from Breaking Out the Vault. And then we head into Victoria Day. May do for a bad weekend.
That's it.
Shit, dude. You don't get much more Canadian than that. Can we get some beaver tails? That might help.
Can I say something real quick about being Canadian? So, like you said, I do a little comedy here and there, and I did a bit once about how I'm a bad Canadian. I started off by saying I don't really drink beer, I don't love hockey, I don't really like maple syrup, and then I said I don't love the Tragically Hip, and the entire room turned exactly just like you did. The entire room turned on me. They didn't care about the beer, the hockey, or anything else. But as soon as I said I don't love the Hip, I was like, yeah, the rest of the set is garbage.
Them's fighting words.
Yeah,
and then stab you with a fucking broken bottle.
I want to add something really quick to this. I have a distant relative that we invited over for a family function last summer. And after 10 beers, he goes, Loverboy was a way better band than the Hip. And no one has talked to this family member since.
What was Loverboy's tune? They were one.
Oh, dude, we play them all on Big 101 in Barrie. We've got The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose. Oh, yeah, there's a huge oeuvre of Loverboy material.
Classic.
Yeah. By the way,
seriously, guys, I just can't look at his mug.
who, Jeff?
Water?
Yeah, I'm drinking water.
He doesn't drink beer. You heard him.
Yeah, I'm a bad Canadian.
I'm drinking LaCroix. What's everyone drinking here? I'm drinking LaCroix Key Lime.
I'm drinking Creamore beer.
Creamore, yeah, lighten her up. Is that pure vodka in that water bottle, or is it Waterloo?
Well, if this is water, but I'll keep the Canadian thing here.
Oh, Hortons, right. Okay.
That was the other part, yeah.
So, Ariana, you're the only one drinking tonight?
Guys, my children are sleeping.
Nice.
Glorious.
Oh, that does sound glorious. We can talk about my trials as a new father, in just a few. Off the top, we played a clip of Kevin Pillar taking a fastball, 95-mile-an-hour fastball to the face. We'll just play the clip again. Oh, yeah. He had multiple nasal fractures. Multiple nasal fractures after that fastball. Your face isn't going to look right after that, right?
Never. And like, so here's the deal. I mean, I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm a massive Blue Jays fan. And I said before we went on air that I wasn't the biggest Pillar fan. And I kind of made a joke about how not that I'm happy it happened, but I'm not sad that it happened. But I'm kind of glad that it happened because, baseball gets the rap of all the players are soft. There's no tough guys. And this guy was ready to go into the lineup the next night. And all the credit due to him. So, to sit there and take a 95 to 96 mile an hour fastball to the face and then say I'm willing to get in the box again, I'll tip my cap where it's due.
Okay, change of tune. Lou?
Still hate his guts. I don't miss him.
Lou, do you play any sports? Have you ever grown up playing sports or anything, or no?
Yeah, a little bit of golf.
All right. Have you been hit by a golf ball? Have you ever been hit by a golf ball?
Never been hit by a golf ball, but I have been hit by a football square in the nose.
Oh.
And, yeah, like you said, like multiple nasal fracture. You don't mess with this, And the first thing I thought when I saw that, Pillar ball to the face was that dude's gonna have sleep apnea now. He's gonna have to wear sleep apnea.
Fuck. Yeah. Never thought of that, man. And the other thing too is I said this to my wife, and she's like, I think she's the hottest. I love my wife so much, and our baby is cute, and I love my baby's nose, and I love my wife's nose. And she's like, well, is that your favorite thing about me? I'm like, I think you have a sexy nose. And she's like, why the nose? And I'm like, listen, the nose is square in the middle of someone's face. It is the most prominent feature on the face. Why wouldn't you want a nice or consider that to be a sexy part of someone? You have to consider the nose. Don't fuck it up.
Especially if you have a deviated septum. Maybe you're like attracted to it because both nostrils are bringing air in, and that's like an amazing thing too.
Yeah, the 80s were hard on that. The 80s were hard on deviated septums.
I don't think I've ever looked at a nose and thought sexy in my life, and you guys have just kind of changed everything about
nose fetish.
I'm a nasal evangelist.
Kris puts on Pinocchio, and he's like, guys, can we put this on pause?
Yeah, Geppetto, get that nose going. Okay, on to the Leafs. Leafs are on tonight. Yep, our little podcast is up against the hockey matchup of the absolute century. Austin Matthews, the Rocket Richard winner, but I also think he needs an AVN award for best porn stash. Oh, that's Kim Jong. Sorry. No, wrong one. Trying to find. There he is. There's the stash. There it is. What do you think, guys? That stash, yay or nay?
Nay, he looks like a little French man.
Is something wrong with that? Come on, now it's 2021. We can't.
That's it.
Oh,
wait, that looks like a mustache. That like a 12-year-old boy would grow. That is not a mustache. If you want hockey, porn stash, Lanny McDonald.
Lanny. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess as far as mustaches go, there are some pretty formidable mustaches in hockey history to go up against.
Yes.
I mean, Lanny McDonald or George Peros, if you remember that guy. Who else had a good mustache? Can't think of anyone. Wendell Clark.
Lanny was like he's the standard, right? But
quintessential.
I will say for Austin Matthews, I'll give him credit for sticking with it because he's obviously been getting ripped about having this 12-year-old mustache on.
He's leaning into it
all season.
Yeah, he's leaning into it.
He is. He's leaning into it, and I'm sure there's hockey players and athletes. Superstition's a big part of it, and he started the season hot, and he's like, "Well, I can't shave now, boys." Like, look what happens.
Well, yeah, it's the first time in Leafs history that there's been a player that's won the Rocket Richard Trophy for the most goals in a season. That's the first time the Leafs have ever had that. Is this the season? What do you think, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, you think this is it, eh?
I think so. My husband is a huge Habs fan, so every time I want it to be the Leafs, so I'm just praying. I've been teaching my 3-year-old that too, by the way. He always comes out of his room, go Leafs, go.
Oh, nice. That's good. You got to train them young.
Yes.
Lou?
Can you compound, imagine the adding the Leafs going all the way to the reopening, we're all vaccinated. If those two things collide at the same time, I don't know, that could be chaos.
Well, I noticed that Francois Legault, the premier for Quebec, has their reopening schedule, and they're going to be able to have 2,500 people at the Bell Centre in Montreal right about when Game 6 should be happening. He's got to be a huge Habs fan. This has to be a plot.
Yeah, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, it's too coincidental, right?
Are they still on lockdown?
Yeah, hard. They have a curfew.
Yeah.
Like, show us your ticket, please. Show us your passport. Are you allowed to leave your house? They have a curfew.
Well, it's weird because I drove through Quebec this week accidentally. So I traveled quite a bit. Yeah, so I traveled quite a bit for work, and I was in Ottawa. And I hate taking the 400 series highways, so I try to take the back ways home. And my GPS took me in through Quebec, and I drove past 2 golf courses, and both of them were packed with people. And then almost got stopped by security coming back into the province.
Yeah,
at the checkpoint.
That's a big thing.
I didn't even think about it, but it was quite surprising. To see. It was almost like seeing the future when I was driving in Quebec and seeing all the things open back up. But
yeah,
to get back to the Leafs and the Habs, it's just such a shame. It's I think since 1979, these teams. It's been that long since they met in the playoffs.
Long time.
And it's such a shame that it's not a packed house because it would be chaos down there for all the entire series.
Yeah. I think that that could be a difference maker. But also on the other end of things, and I'll credit Melanie Martin with this. She said this morning in our radio show. That maybe the problem this whole time for the Leafs has been fans in the stands. Maybe that the Leafs fans are making it worse on the Leafs. And if everyone would just shut the fuck up for a second, they'd actually go out and win a game, right? So maybe it's actually to their advantage to not have fans in the stands.
That's a good theory.
Yeah. You never know how sports psychology works, right?
Yeah. So when you're like a teenager, sometimes you don't want your parents at the game because they just put too much pressure on you.
Yeah.
Well, when the NBA did their bubble last year, there were players that actually came out and said, it's I miss the fans in that aspect and the energy they bring, but now I can just focus on the game and executing, and I don't get distracted, and I don't get emotions are kind of kept in check. So it's definitely part of it, and Melanie's onto something there, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Also, you mentioned something, Jeff. Just back to you traveling for work and crossing the border between Quebec and Ontario. Show us your papers. You want to hear something shady? You want to hear something real sketchy?
Oh, no.
So I don't want to out this person publicly because there could be some blowback. but there is somebody who I know who lives in Quebec, but was visiting in Ontario over the weekend, over last weekend. And how did they get across? Because they have checkpoints. They changed their Quebec plates to Ontario plates and came over to Ontario. I think that's sketchy. That's like, to me, that's like stealing tools from a job site, kind of greasy. You know, like I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with that. Personally.
That's all it would take. So I went through that border, and like I was terrified because there's 10 cruisers and 20 cops standing there, and I slowed right down. And as soon as they saw my plates, it was just a wave right through. They didn't even talk to me. So I mean, that's all it took. It's like, you know, you save your old movie stub, and you go back to the movies the next night, and you're like, yeah, I was already in, and then you just walk into the theater. It's kind of the same.
I was just out for a smoke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's scary though. I don't know if you guys watch Handmaid's Tale, but that's what it feels like. I don't like it.
Yeah, it is getting a little uncomfortable these days, is it not?
I don't understand the curfew. It makes no sense.
In Quebec, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, again, Quebec does things always a little bit different than the rest of the Canada anyways, and I don't know if they do it that way just because or if there's a different mentality of of the people who live there. I think it's a bit of both.
I talked to a gentleman today who he can't buy pants. He's down to his last pair.
How are you down to your last pair of pants?
Yeah, what happens to these pants?
How
fast do you go through
does he
them?
lose pants?
I have 3 pairs of pants, so I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me.
How many washing machines do you have?
I live in my mom's basement.
Did she wash her pants?
So I don't know. They just magically show up washed on the end of my bed.
I love it.
Don't get me started, Jeff.
Oh, that's fucking funny, you guys.
But isn't that funny when you're at the store and like just like pants are just crime scened off? It's like, this is how we're gonna stop the spread.
Yeah, I know. Stop the spread by not being able to buy pants or sweatpants. Don't stay cozy during this time.
It's like a conspiracy theory, like for all of this COVID stuff. Maybe it's that they want us to be nudists.
It's the secret conspiracy, the nudists.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget the Illuminati. It's the nudist army that's really pushing the agenda.
Hoodies out there.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of crazy. Like I don't want to out anybody again, like you said, Chris, but I work with a pretty hardcore anti-vaxxer, and she's kind of gone down some rabbit holes and conspiracy theories. And she's like, this whole thing is about aliens attacking the planet. You know, the government's going to release. Yeah.
Fuck.
It hard left real quick. Like I was like, so here's the whole story. I was signed up to get the AstraZeneca jab, and I kind of got cold feet as the day was approaching, and I backed out at the last second.
Oh man, you made the right call.
Well, it turns out, yeah. So my sister, who's a nurse at Sunnybrook, I kind of messaged her just for confirmation, like, hey, I got a potential to get the vaccination. What should I do here? Expecting her to say, yes, get it. The more people that get it, the better. And she was the one that said, I don't know about that one. That one I would be worried about. So I said, well, all right, I'm going to pump the brakes here. And I started asking around, and a lady I work with who, like I said, is hardcore. She's like, no. She just lost her mind. She's like, this is all about infertility. There's too many people on the planet. And soon enough, you're going to see the government releasing footage of UFOs, and they're trying to attack our planet. And this is going to turn into a space wars. And I was like, so I don't have an end to that story, but it just was like so shocking. But this is what it's doing to people's brains, like people that are secluded and isolated.
I've heard that theory too, that they're trying to make it so that people can't have babies. And I'm like, they're starting with 80-year-olds. I'm pretty sure they can't.
Yeah, yeah.
They're putting microchips in you so that they know where you are at all times. I'm like, yeah, that's called your cell phone.
Yeah, right here. Yeah.
You don't need to put it in your body.
Yeah.
You upgrade it every year.
I Googled something. They know where I am and what I'm looking for. Like it's, yeah, I love the conspiracies, but I hate them at the same time. But I've learned to love them, embrace them.
Question for Jeff there is, how do you maneuver, like how did you get out of that conversation, or how did you play it?
Oh, great question.
Well, yeah, luckily it was on the phone, and it was on the phone, and I pulled like the classic, like it And
No, really? That's awesome.
well, I waited like probably 3 minutes because like I can't do this immediately or it's obvious, or she'll probably think the aliens are getting me right now.
Right.
Kind of thing.
You probably thought aliens scrambled the signal.
That's it. Yeah. They're onto me.
Happened to her brain.
But yeah, and I was like, you know what, Diane, I gotta run. Shoot, I said her name. Damn it.
Fuck you, Diane.
You know what? I'll call you back, and then I've just avoided calling her for 2 weeks now. So.
Nice. That's,
Good call.
there's been some alien news recently, though. There's the Pentagon footage of ships. Like, it's pretty wild. I don't know why this isn't bigger news. I guess there's other things like the fucking anti-vax and anti-lockdown protests in Toronto and in Barrie and everywhere, really. You know, I guess there's bigger things for us to fuss about on Facebook. But that's the thing that blows my mind, that there's actual footage confirmed to exist of aliens by the Pentagon that's out there. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, that used to be the conspiracy shit. The aliens are like, fucking conspiracies. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, anyways, on to fucking Bill Gates and his microchips. Like, what? Hang on a second. The fucking alien conspiracy's gone.
It reminds me of when wrestling, remember back in the late 80s, everybody still believed it was real, and then it came out in the 90s, they're like, yeah, wrestling's fake, and everybody's like, yeah, well, yeah, that's...
Yeah, yeah, of course aliens exist. Yeah. It makes sense statistically that they would exist, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Anyways,
I know a professional wrestler.
You know a professional wrestler?
Yeah. His name's Crazy Steve. He's from Angus.
Crazy Steve from Angus, Ontario?
Yeah,
What makes him professional? What does he wrestle?
Does he wrestle hogs?
I don't know wrestling, so I could be wrong, but what's like the top wrestling company?
WWE?
But is there like a Canadian version? No, he's in the States.
The CFL? I don't know.
Steve's wrestling hay bales and calves.
No, I'm checking.
Crazy Steve, out in Angus. Come see him for your hog wrestling needs. Yoo-hoo! Zoo it!
Belt is made out of cardboard.
Okay, now I feel like, is Impact Wrestling good?
Oh, Impact Wrestling. That's like an Ontario league. Yeah, I think.
That is not Ontario, because he's out in the States.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know anything about wrestling. Listen, I know so little about wrestling. I had to have wrestling enthusiasts come on this podcast. There's an episode a few episodes back, for those who are curious about checking it out, called "What the Fuck is the Deal with Wrestling?" Someone explain it to me, because I don't get it. Anyways, that was me not knowing anything about wrestling, and I still don't know anything about it.
Jeff watched wrestling.
I am wearing a wrestling T-shirt under my hoodie right now, and yeah, I did, and yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's just a soap opera now. You really, for comedic value, I haven't checked it out since my son was born, but because I realized that
wrestling to your son.
Well, I don't want him to. I made the mistake of being an open wrestling fan and expecting to have girlfriends, and it doesn't play that way. So I'm like, you know what? Let's keep him out of there, and maybe he can have a little more success.
Like I went on a date with a guy, and I found out he was a professional badminton player. I was like, no, I'm out.
But no, that's cool. I think that's
it is
professional any sport.
No.
You turned down a professional badminton player?
Yes, that's weird.
You know what? I actually kind of understand it. I went on a date with one person one time, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm a professional bongo player," and that was only a one date thing, so I kind of understand. Like, okay, you were a good enough bongo player to be a professional, but like, okay.
Really, as a bagpipe player, do you guys look down at bongos? Is it like, whoa? You're not.
Well, I don't think we look down at anything bagpipers, because technically bagpipes aren't even an instrument, just so you know.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Speaking of bagpipes, did I ever tell you my plan to get Kris to come play the bagpipes for Mark Trinidad at like 6 a.m?
Yeah, to do a bagpipe wake-up call?
Yeah, for his birthday, because Mark Trinidad hates his birthday. And I texted his wife right away when he told me. He's like, nobody knows my birthday. I was like, She's like, no. She gave me his birthday right away, and he's like, fucking. It was pretty funny.
Okay, well, let's do it. Now I'm moving to Barrie soon, so we can.
We actually, although all of his children said no, that is a very bad idea.
Oh, really?
In my brain, it is a great idea. Did I tell you what I did for his birthday?
Even the children know, it's probably really bad. But no, what did you do?
I text everybody in my contact and on my Facebook. I gave them Mark Trinidad's phone number on his birthday. And I said, text him happy birthday because he says he hates his birthday that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so funny.
So you had people bomb him with texts, happy birthday texts.
Yes, I'm an asshole.
Yeah. That's like calling your boss out on Facebook or something like that. That's not good, man. That's not good. That's not a real friend thing.
That is a real friend. That was funny.
Okay, all right.
I think it's nice. He's getting all this love from people he doesn't even know.
Right?
Yeah. Random numbers. I know when I get a text from a number that I don't have stored in my phone, I'm very trustworthy of that text and very appreciative
I know
of
it's your birthday.
it. Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck. Did you guys hear the Matthew Perry, the former Friends or the Friends guy?
Yes.
Okay. Matthew Perry, blatantly, in my opinion anyways, blatantly drunk doing promotional recordings, interviews for the upcoming Friends reunion on HBO. Which I was never even that big of a Friends reunion anyways, or Friends fan anyways, but now I'm kind of actually interested now that this guy's a complete train wreck. Anyways, here's Matthew Perry. Here's clip one.
That's been nice.
While being a really close-knit group, we don't see each other, all six of us, a lot.
Yeah, that's him slurring his word.
Why.
We don't see each other very often, but then it really kicked into overdrive. Oh, I keep putting the wrong pictures up. There he is.
I stole the cookie jar that had the clock on it, and I gave it to Lisa Kudrow, because she, one point, looked at it and thought it was a real clock. And I gave it to her.
And then he just randomly, like, listen, I've been drunk and done this too. So, like, I know that he's drunk because I've been this guy. Anyways, here it is.
Siblings, I would say. Yeah,
Like
really.
siblings.
Very supportive. There's
Very, very sexual.
Yeah. Yeah. At the core.
Yeah, at its core.
You know, just make it awkward by and think, yeah, we're a big happy family. Yeah, it's very sexual. You know, I've been wasted and been that guy, and so I know.
Actually, doing stand-up comedy, I think I had the creepiest man ever approach me. Thankfully, Al Val was there because he's like, no, not today.
Oh, Al's a white knight, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm standing there. I have he just starts grabbing my leg and lifting it and taking off my sock. And I don't know why. I was just like, what is happening?
What the fuck?
He's like, what does your tattoo say? I was like, I need an adult.
I need an adult.
I wish that's what your tattoo said, actually. I need an adult.
I'm getting ink tomorrow with that, man. Holy shit, that's funny.
Yeah, and then, it got weird. Al Val ended up walking me to my car because he's like, yeah, I don't trust Mr. Creepy over there.
Good guy. Listen, man, like 20 years ago in comedy, I don't know. There might have been some creeps out there, but I'm glad to see that the comedians are, unfortunately, or no, not unfortunately, fortunately for this world, comedians are actually, I think, the most virtuous people you can meet. They're most honest, down-to-earth people now. I think we've evolved to be that, personally. Happy to hear that.
I like that mentality. I don't know if I agree with it 100%. I've seen some people.
Well, there's some fucking scumbags.
Yeah. But I like that. Let's keep it positive. But I mean, as far as Chandler Bing, could he be more drunk?
Yeah, man. Like, what the fuck? He's totally wasted, right?
Yeah, he sounds like he's somebody doing a bad impression of a drunk person.
Yeah. All right, I gotta play it again.
Is there a possibility that it's not even a Friends reunion, but it's actually an intervention for him, and they just decided to use some money while they were at it?
Yeah. I think it could be.
Yes.
We're gonna watch HBO when the fucking show finally debuts, and there's Dr. Phil's gonna be there, or Dr. Oz, or Dr. Drew maybe is more appropriate. I mean, listen to this guy.
I stole the cookie jar.
And if you look at the picture of the guy, he's hunched over in the chair.
That had the clock on it, and I gave it to Lisa Kudrow, because she, one point, looked at it and thought it was a real clock, and I gave it to her.
If he's that wasted in a TV interview, if he's that wasted on camera, recorded, and if HBO or whoever decided, yeah, we don't have any other clips of this guy, we have to put these clips into the promotional package. Like, how fucking wasted does that guy get when he's not on camera? Like if that's him on camera, like I'm being professional right now.
Like a party, okay? Don't be judging.
Well, he
That's
was
all
like
I
a
do.
mess, right? In the height of Friends, wasn't he like legit rehab and into some bad stuff and kind of a hot mess?
Yeah, maybe, but
So this might be like a sad story. I don't know.
It probably, you know what? It is a sad story. I always take sad stories and laugh at them for some reason.
There you
Charlie Sheen, I was all over it. Laughs galore, man. But yeah, you're probably right. I didn't like Friends enough, and I don't like Friends enough to have actually researched it. I just know that today these clips came out, and I think it's fucking funny.
Did you hear this? He shared a story on, I want to say one of the Kimmel or something years ago about how he bullied Justin Trudeau when they were at the same school.
Really?
When they were growing up? Yeah. So, like, and yeah, I agree. This very well could be a sad story, but maybe it's another classic case of, like, kid that's getting picked on is now prime minister, and then the kid that was mean is having a tough go.
You know what? What's that called again? There's a word for that. Oh, yeah, karma.
Yeah.
Karma, I believe, is the word. I believe. Wow, it took us a while to... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Chris. We're talking about it. I don't watch Friends. I don't know if Lewis was a fan, but like people like us are now talking about it. So maybe it was strategy to get more eyes on the reunion show. Who knows?
Wouldn't be the first time we've been manipulated by the liberal Hollywood machine. I don't know why I had to throw liberal in there. It's like almost like you could use it as a slanderous word nowadays for certain demographics.
When do you move, Chris?
What's that?
When do you move?
June 15th. So less than a month. So also it's my daughter's 2nd month anniversary when we move on the 15th. So yay to moving with a 2-month-old. Woo!
That's way easier than a toddler.
Is it? Oh yeah, because at least like they're not up and around and curious and opening boxes and getting into shit.
My son was like depressed for a month because I just packed up all his toys.
Uh-huh.
And then he just didn't have any toys. But then when I opened them again, it was like glorious. But I don't like things, so I packed everything. And
you packed your kids' toys a month early?
I left like 3 months early, but I left a small box of toys.
Mm-hmm. But not the toys that he wanted in that very moment that he got depressed.
Just you wait. They don't want the toys that they can see. They want the toys they can't see or another kid's toy. Isn't
that just a metaphor for life, though? I want the things that I can't see, that even though I have the things in front of me that I need. Yeah, truly. I'm going to meditate on that for a second.
How much weed did you smoke today?
Not
it's
much,
so
but that's the thing. I'm not smoking a lot of weed right now, Ariana, because of the baby, right? So we have this newborn, so I have very few moments to step out to the garage for a toke. So yes, I may have had a little puff out back before the podcast, and it's hitting me a little hard, okay? But let's just meditate. Let's just meditate on it. Anyways, you were saying, Jeff.
I don't know because I wish I was just hanging out with you in the garage and now I forgot about it. But
that's cool.
I was going to ask how it's going. 2 months in, my son is 7 years old, and you're absolutely right. Anytime you say you can't do something, it's just he wants to do it that much more, and I'm sure it's going to carry on until he's 40, like his dad.
Yeah. How's it going? Well, overall, pretty good. We got her to sleep for 4 hours last night, and earlier this week we also got her to sleep for 4 hours. And for not even a 2-month-old, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty good at changing diapers, although I'm still having trouble with the outfits. Like, getting her arms and hands through the holes. Like, they're so delicate, and I'm probably being too.
They're potatoes.
Yeah, like Lisa just grabs her arm and boom, just jams it in there and like, yep, there you go, outfit's on. And I'm just like, all right, here we go, little one. And then she just starts screaming.
A new parent tip.
Yeah, of course, I'm open.
Don't buy the pajamas for babies with buttons. Only buy zippers.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good tip.
I've really struggled with snaps. Oh, yeah, the snaps.
You wait until they start moving. My son's 9 months old, and he barrel rolls like nobody's business. And he's like, there's just a poo diaper there. I'm trying to hold him. And then, it's not fun.
Yeah, so the missus loves these kimonos. So it's like a double-breasted outfit. But that means there's 2 sets of snaps. There's inside snaps, and then there's the outside snaps because of the double breast. And I'm all thumbs. I mean, look, these are not nimble hands. There's not a lot of fine motor. I've never done any physical work with these hands, you see, so they're not used to even snapping, right?
Yeah, the snaps are the worst.
Yeah.
I threw all of mine out for my second child.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that was a good call.
I donated them.
We got so many clothes as gifts. We feel obligated to take pictures and send them to people like, hey, thanks for the onesie. And then, but of course it has snaps, right? So we have to put it on them, right?
You find that? It's like, oh, congratulations. Do you need stuff? Because I need space and I have all the stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had so much stuff dropped off on our front door.
My friends who are parents tell me about like how expensive these car seats are and how they all have expiration dates and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like 10 years.
And like, how important are those expiration dates?
Very important.
Okay.
Never doesn't expire.
Yeah, dude, it's really actually eye-opening. We took a lot of online courses leading up to the baby's birth. I did an online car seat course, and no joke. Like, I'm not even telling jokes here. Like, it was informative to realize how much. The technology changes and wears out, and just what a real safe car seat is. Poof, that was wild.
Have you ever seen like the really old school car seats where it's just like hunched over a seat with like metal bars? And it almost looks like
in photographs of me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did we survive? I think my car seat was like just my dad's hand holding me in place. It was like. How did we survive? And,
I don't know. Yeah. I was having this chat with my dad, and I'm like, dude, how did I survive? Back when I was in the 80s as a kid, I was, as a toddler, I remember there being smoking in restaurants and smoking in diners and smoking in hospitals, smoking on airplanes. There was smoking everywhere. There was lawn darts with fucking real sharp tips on the end of them. Like, dude, like, I don't know. There's a whole generation of I don't know, fucking Astar the Robot war amps out there because of those lawn darts.
Oh, man. Wow.
I can put my arm back on. You can't, so play safe.
Wow. I haven't heard that. 25 years, I bet it's been.
Dude, I remember things. I remember the 80s quite clearly for how young I was at the time, right?
Lawn darts.
But
man, I mean, we probably wouldn't even need these COVID vaccines and infertility if we just kept the lawn darts around. It probably would have killed enough people off in the last 25 years.
It would have killed off the fucking anti-vaxxers, that's for sure.
Who actually purchased this and said, "Here you go, kids. This is safe."
Yeah. Anyways,
I just want to say Alistar commercial, the special effects were ahead of their time, especially for a commercial.
That's why I remember it. That's because it was so impressive. The graphics. I'm like, how come Jurassic Park looks shitty next to Astar the Robot? I don't get this.
Did Cameron make this commercial? What is happening?
Yeah. But to loop back to the initial question, how's it going? Pretty good, except for the fact, and thank God, because I'm on camera. I don't know if you can see it here, but my left eye is just a little squintier and a little pinker because I got pink eye from my baby. She spray shat in my face.
That's love.
That is.
And I didn't realize at the moment, like, I was like, oh, my cheek, and I wiped it off, and then I washed my hands, and I took a shower, because, after that, you have no choice but to take a shower to feel clean, right? No matter how hard you scrub, sometimes it doesn't work. But the next morning, I woke up, and I rubbed my eye twice, and after the second rub, I'm like, I got fucking pink eye. I just knew it. Fucking crazy.
My first question is, was it funny right away when it happened?
Yeah, it was. I didn't get angry. I didn't get angry about it at all.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You can't do anything once you have the pink eye. You just
gotta ride it out.
Just gotta ride it out.
I think this is a beautiful thing, man. She's 2 months old and she's already given gifts. Like, beautiful soul. I love it.
So
that's impressive that she got your face.
Oh, well, okay. So as you know, sometimes you gotta wait for the next act. Sometimes you'll hear a poop. It'll be loud and proud, and you'll be like, okay, we got to take care of that. But then also, you're like, oh, I think there's more. I think you got more in there. And sure enough, there was a second act, and I'm like, okay, 2 bells, let's do this thing. And as I'm taking the diaper off, it was like a skunk, like it caught some of the stuff that was in the diaper as well, and that became part of the spray, and it was just a big thing. Big thing.
At least you have a girl, though. Like, Jeff knows. I have 2 boys. He has a boy. Like, take the diaper off, and you just got to cover it right away because there's just pee coming at you.
Oh, yeah, the pee stream, yeah. Yeah, that happens.
What was your daughter eating? First of all, like you guys aren't. It sounds like Taco Bell or something.
Oh yeah, and it also
a little young for Taco Bell.
It's actually Taco Bell, close but no cigar. It also, I even tweeted about it that at 5 a.m. when it happened on last Sunday. It smelled not like Taco Bell, like McDonald's hash brown for some reason, oddly.
I'm envisioning this, and I wish I wasn't.
I know all it made me want to do was get in the car and go to the drive-thru. I was like, oh man, I could fucking. But I'm loving it.
You say that parents are the people that can like change a shitty diaper and forget to wash their hands and then just go sit down and eat. I was like, ew.
Chips.
Well, okay, so as I have these experiences, the fallout from the pink eye, I'm in line at the Shoppers, right? And of course, I'm a jovial character, and I always talk to strangers because that's who I am. And so I'm talking with another dad in the line. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I got pink eye when I had my kid. You know, I got it 6 times." And I'm like, "Holy fuck, this guy! You got your pink eye from your baby 6 times?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I was thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, "Okay, that's not the baby's fault. That's not pink eye's fault or Pooh's fault. You're straight up unsanitary if you can get it 6 times. You didn't learn your lesson the first time. Come on."
You gonna wear protective eyewear moving forward?
Yeah, I'm going to get one of the masks that they, the big visors that they bring down. I got to get one of those. Yeah, I got to get my own PPE now for changing diapers.
All right,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Lewis. I've got a poop story, so it's not very important.
Oh,
go.
Poop story. We want to hear it.
Well, here's the deal. So my son, it was kind of the exact opposite. He was colicky, right? So he was for 3 months, he couldn't pass bowel. Like he couldn't poo, he couldn't fart. And, he'd wake up in the middle of the night like he was on fire, just screaming. And my wife and I would wake up and, you go and you pump his legs and he passed gas and then you're like chest bumping because, your toddler's puffered. But yeah, it's all part of the process, man. And it's, I don't like to give advice and tips to new parents, but just enjoy everything. And it just makes you love them that much more as you go through it all. So enjoy.
Yeah, that is where I'm at for sure with it all. Yeah, Lou.
Double back something Jeff said though about like when he asked if your baby's eating Taco Bell. Is there a market for fast food baby food, like a pureed Crunchwrap Supreme in a little jar that you
Fuck, man, only if your baby needs to put on weight. There's no way that children should be eating that. Like trust from a classic overweight dude who was pushing 500 pounds at my largest, there's a food addiction gene in here somewhere. I really hope she doesn't have it. And I don't want to get her hooked early, man. No way. No way.
It's so important.
All the time. Sorry, Ariana. Sorry.
That's okay. I have ADD. I apologize.
Go for it.
I already forgot.
Oh, it's gone. I apologize. It's gone.
Well, I could think of some senior citizens that might be down with like some pureed Butterfingers and like, I can't handle this anymore. Maybe put it in some liquid form. So maybe Lewis is onto something. Maybe just not toddlers.
They forget to bring their teeth to the drive-thru.
That's it. They got an option.
Okay, maybe there's a market. Listen, there's a market for anything out there, I think. There's a lot of different products. Listen, guys, it's been great chatting. I want to wrap it up here because we're after 10 o'clock. We're coming up on 45 minutes here for the podcast. Love chatting with you all. Thank you for your time and good luck. And I hope to see at least Jeff and Ariana sooner than later on the mean streets of Barrie. Can't wait to get out there and do some comedy whenever we can.
Cannot wait.
Because
speaking of which, I know you're wrapping this up, Chris, but every time
that's like the 20-minute warning. But yeah.
Oh, okay. So every time I pass a stump on the side of a hill, I think of you, and I want you to know that. You don't know Ariana? One of his bits, man. As soon as he said
Blue doesn't know that.
And the Tarantino directing the other genre of movies.
Porno, yeah, okay.
All the time, man. So,
well, that's what happens when I've only got 10 minutes and do the same 10 minutes every fucking time. You get to know my routine.
It struck a chord. That stump joke, I laugh every time I pass one. So.
Thanks, buddy. Well, I'm glad. So, yeah, the story is that my old dick, when I was 500 pounds, was not dissimilar to a weird old tree stump sticking out the side of a hill, that you kind of hit with a lawnmower from time to time by accident. You nick it,
I'm envisioning it, and I wish I wasn't.
Yeah, no, it's a very graphic visual, and that's why I think
it burns. It burns a hole in there. It's like, you leave an LCD or one of the laser TVs on for too long, and then it's got the Sony symbol burnt in it. That joke.
Oh yeah.
Burnt in your.
Burns like fucking pink eye, man.
My fondest memory of Jeff was the one day he was walking home. It's like my motherly instinct. I was like, "You text me when you're home." He was scared of this like homeless man, right? There was this homeless man that kept passing us. Do you remember, Jeff?
I do. He just like all of a sudden grabbed my leg and started trying to take off my sock. And showed him my tattoo that says I need
well,
one.
Jeff was going back to his vehicle. I was like, you text me when you're home, Jeff. He texts me later. He's like, help, I'm in that guy's basement.
Oh my God, you guys. And that's why I can't wait to hang a bit more. And you know, it's been kind of shitty living in Newmarket and hanging out in Barrie, because it's like I get to meet people and make friends, but not actually get to like spend time with them, like hang out and stuff. So like, you know, coming to your birthday, that was a one-off there, Ariana, and I wish I could do more of those things when I get there. So hopefully.
I'm actually hoping that once this pandemic's over and people can come over, because we moved and there's way more property. I want to have like a backyard comedy show now, and then invite all the neighbors.
Yeah, right on. Well, like, listen, you guys, Lou, you don't know this, but the history between Ariana, Jeff, and I, we've done comedy together, but we did a neighborhood comedy tour. We went and did comedy in people's homes together. And that was still, I swear to God, that basement show that you and Trinidad and myself did.
That was so fun.
That was
great.
Probably my favorite comedy show I've ever done. Was in whatever that guy's name was, is in his basement that he won the contest. I mean, it was.
I honestly think you should bring it back. Like every time I see a memory of it come up on Facebook, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I know. It's great memories, right? So I hope we can do stuff like that. Maybe we can do that with the podcast as the title sponsor. You know, we can do the Big Kris live comedy basement tour or something of that nature. So.
I'm actually glad that the show that Mark and I had going in Barrie has, like, because of COVID, we just finally started getting momentum, and now it's.
Yeah, I checked out that show. Is it still going to be at the same venue?
I guess we'll have to talk with them once everything opens.
Yeah, like everything's up in the air, right? Anyways, it was at Donnelly's. I hope it's there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, guys. I was really glad that you guys were doing that. So here's to all ventures moving forward. And Lou, send my regards to Kingston, my friend. It's been great having you on the podcast. I did not know that you even grew up in Kingston. I thought you were just like a radio gypsy going town to town, up and down the dial, and ended up there after I was spending time there.
No, just got back home.
That's crazy, man. Wow. Well, that's great that you're holding down the drive shift there in your hometown, dude. That's a good thing and a great place to hang your hat.
It means a lot, and you guys are all funny people, and this was a real treat.
Yeah.
Meeting you, Lewis.
And side note as well to subscribers and to fans of the live stream, it is Thursday nights at 9 p.m. That is when or just after 9 p.m., but at 9 p.m.-ish is when we'll start the live stream on the regular. Thursdays at 9. You can put that on your must-see TV Thursday nights. Circle it.
Thursday.
Circle it in your TV guide or your Facebook video live stream guide. That's going to be our regular time. And, you know, if there's an artist or a musician or a popular person who has an agent that insists they don't want to stay up at 9 o'clock at night, I'm not saying any names, Brian from Helix, but anyways, who feels that 9 p.m. is too late in the evening to do a podcast, then by all means we can record it during the day and play it back as a segment during the live stream. Lou?
The guy that was part of I Want to Rock, 9 p.m. is too late for the I Want to Rock guy?
It was. He actually, our last podcast, the one just before this one last week, he logged off midway through the podcast. So at 9:30, he's like, gotta go. Click.
I Want to Rock as long as it's the early bird special.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a true story. I should say 2 episodes back. The last one was the Oak Island Roundtable. By the way, do you guys watch his Curse of Oak Island?
No.
You don't know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Of Oak Island.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, you know, Jeff? You guys, Lou,
Yeah.
you don't know?
Have to do with Shakespeare?
No. Well, it might. It depends on what theories you believe. Ariana, no?
No.
Okay. Anyways, for those who are curious about Oak Island, Nova Scotia, where there has been a treasure hunt for over 200 years, and it's fascinating. Myself, Dean Blundell, my friend from retired Major of the Canadian Forces, Kent Stewart, and he's a historian. He had a great theory about who done it on Oak Island, who buried the treasure, whether the treasure's still there. And, of course, Bob Contois, big-time fan and friend of mine who is part of that podcast as well. That was back the previous episode, and then Brian from Helix is the episode before. If you want to go back and listen and hear him hang up halfway through the episode, it's all up there in the catalog. And Ariana, special thanks to you because, as you can tell, it's been a lot of dudes. There have been it's been a sausage festival. I think Melanie Martin back at the start of January was the last podcast episode we had with a female. So thanks for being here.
That's it. I'm boycotting it.
No, don't. No. What did we do? We didn't do anything. But I just felt like the podcast was starting to really get a bachelor pad smell to it, just like
comedy in general. There's maybe a woman once in a while. Like, thank God my husband is so comfortable with himself. I was just like, hey, I'm just leaving to hang out with a bunch of dudes for 2 hours.
Yeah, and he's all right with it. It's good. Yeah. He's like, as long as you're not doing a cam show for money, as long as it's not OnlyFans.
Yes. He wouldn't care. He'd be like, okay, just as long as you're bringing home money.
Oh, I love it. He's all about the bottom line, even if it's bottoms up. Awesome. Ariana Pyle, Jeff Faulkner, Lou MacDonald from K-Rock in Kingston. Thank you, three, for hanging out tonight on Big Chris Live. You can subscribe again via Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thanks to our podcast network host, Dean Blundell and deanblundell.com. And for those watching live, thanks for putting us on instead of the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going to go check the score. Thanks, you guys.
I got it right here if you want it. 2-1.
Oh, what is it, 2-1?
2-1 Montreal right now with the show replay, but not much time left in the third. Yeah, it's getting dicey. I don't know if you saw Tavares hit. You'll be talking about it for a while tomorrow.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Thank you.